Hey guys, so I'm going to be doing a video about Caden's IEP. I originally did this video on live and it ended up being 30 minutes long, so I posted it for a little while and then I thought, nobody's going to have time to listen to something like this for 30 minutes. So I summed it up from about 20 papers to 3 papers. This is just going to be like a simplified version of what I said on live, so if you watched that video already all the way through, you'll probably already know this stuff. This is the classroom observation. So this is by his teacher. And she said, Caden was referred to my classroom for transition and behavioral concerns. He began the school year attending Miss T's class. It was determined that Miss T's class could not meet the needs Caden required to follow the school routine, schedule, and expectations. Originally, they didn't really explain why they had moved him. They just said that Miss T couldn't handle him. So this is the first time that they've actually explained why he was moved. Academically, Caden was assessed using the Carolina curriculum for preschoolers with special needs and the school-wide curriculum assessment. Caden is recognizing 18 uppercase letters and 16 lowercase letters. He's able to blend syllables in 2 out of 4 opportunities. When asked to match rhyming pictures, he can in 1 out of 3 opportunities, but selected the last picture every time. And she said she wasn't sure if he was just lucky or what, because like if I give him options, he'll generally choose the last thing. Mathematically, Caden can rote count, I think she meant rope count, to 9, and object count to 11. He can recognize 9 out of 10 numbers. And she said that she says 9 out of 10 because whenever she would show him the number 1, he would say the letter I. And at home, he counts more than 9 numbers, but he rope counts more than 9 numbers. So, I don't know. But that's just what she has observed. He can match primary colors, sort by shape, and match geometric designs. Caden struggles to sort by 2 characteristics, and when asked to sort shapes, was unable to identify square, rectangle, and circle. At home, Caden mixes up square and rectangle, and I'm not sure, I think that's probably what he did on this too. Caden separates appropriately from his caregivers and comes into the classroom most days. When observing Caden in play situations, he's observed engaging in an average of 3 exchanges with 2 adult prompts. So basically, he doesn't go up to kids 2 out of 3 times. So the 3 times he actually does engage with other children, he has to be prompted 2 out of those 3 times. It is noted that most of his engagement with peers is making statements or noises to peers, versus having a conversation regarding imaginative play with a sequence. So basically, they're counting like him going up to a child and grunting as a engagement. So I don't know how many of those 3 exchanges per day he just goes up and grunts to somebody, I'm not sure. Caden has not been observed assuming different roles in pretend play. Caden is able to tell how old he is and show pride in his achievements, which is really good. It has been noted that Caden struggles to understand personal space. This one's funny, they didn't say this part. He has been observed attempting to share urinals with kids. They did not mention that in our meeting. But when I read this, I laughed so hard because I didn't know he did that. Getting very close to their face and kissing peers. I didn't know he'd been kissing kids at school, but I guess he has been. He has also walked out of the bathroom several times without pulling his pants up. I kind of assumed that was going to happen because he does that here sometimes. So this is what this school psychologist observed, and they literally wrote down exactly what he did, which is kind of cool for me. I don't know if it will be for you guys, but it's kind of cool for me to see exactly like what behavior he did and what the school psychologist noticed from observations. Caden was observed by the school psychologist during PE time on November 1st. At the onset of the observation, Caden was observed kicking a ball appropriately. He had difficulty waiting in line as he stood in very close proximity to peers and had to be reminded to stand at an appropriate distance from peers. After waiting in line, he needed assistance from his classroom teacher on a cutting task, which doesn't surprise me because we don't use scissors here because we don't have children's scissors, and I'm scared of him having scissors around his brothers. After waiting in line, he needed assistance from his classroom teacher. He was able to work his scissors, but Miss H held the paper for him. So he was able to use the scissors, he just couldn't hold the paper and cut at the same time. After he was finished with the cutting task, he yelled out and ran over to another area. He was able to crawl through a collapsible tunnel and then demonstrated an ability to jump off of both feet by jumping to different colored dots placed on the floor. He returned to the ball kicking area but cut in front of a peer. He was instructed to wait but stated, "My turn, my turn." I feel like I'm reading you guys a story. He got in line and stated, "I'm behind you," to a peer, then repeated, "Behind the line," 3 times while waiting for his turn. When the class was instructed to pick up, Caden picked up 1 item and then waited for peers and staff to finish picking up. He got in line with his classmates to return to the classroom. During this wait time and while walking in line, Caden pulled up his shirt frequently. Caden then went outside with the class for recess. Caden spent most of his time propelling himself around the outside of the playground on a scooter. He didn't pedal the scooter, instead he used his feet to propel himself around. He was given prompts by an adult on how to correctly pedal the trike, but still used his feet to propel himself. Caden was encouraged by staff to interact with his peers by sharing a 2-person trike. I did not know they made those things. That sounds kind of cool. But Caden quickly got off and returned to a single trike. After getting off the trike, Caden and a peer had difficulty interacting appropriately and needed redirecting from a staff member. Caden then kicked a peer, which prompted a discussion regarding appropriate behavior between him and his teacher. He was able to redirect and maintain appropriate behavior for the remainder of recess. I guess she did another thing that was more one-on-one, like they were in a room together. And this one says, this was more like a test. I guess they called it a sub-test. And this was on November 8th, so a week later. It says, Caden was hesitant to leave the classroom with the psychologist. Initially, he agreed to go, but then stated he wanted to return to the classroom while he and the psychologist were walking down the hall. His classroom teacher walked with Caden and the psychologist to the office where Caden quickly engaged in the first sub-test. Oh, he was still hesitant, but agreed to work with the psychologist. He enjoyed playing with the blocks and remained focused during the first 2 sub-tests. Caden began to lose interest after this and needed frequent redirection. He became easily distracted by objects in the room, such as the eraser on the whiteboard or by stickers that he saw in the school psychologist's bag. Caden would redirect to the task for a brief period, then become distracted again. He did much better with tasks where manipulatives were involved. When a task involved only auditory directions, he had more difficulty. Caden frequently repeated what the school psychologist said during the assessment session as well, repeating phrases such as "up there," "one more," or "one more." He also frequently used the phrase "just a minute," he does that all the time here, when he became distracted by an object in the testing room. Due to Caden's distractibility, difficulty understanding directions, and his young age, the results of the intelligence assessment should be interpreted with caution. As far as his IEP, they're going to be working with him on several different subjects. He's going to have speech therapy 40 minutes a week and occupational therapy 20 minutes a week. And that will be done in his classroom while he's in class, so he won't have to go anywhere else. He'll just remain in his classroom and they'll work with him one-on-one. They had several goals for him for the next year. I guess they reassess every year. And so their goals were, they each had a goal, and there were so many people in there. But it was to interact with peers without being prompted, to speak more clearly, be able to cut with scissors without help, I know there were more, but I can't remember them, and they didn't write them down, I don't think. I haven't been able to find them. So anyways, so we made goals. Well, they made goals for him, and that's what they're going to be working with him on, and I'll be working with him at home on. They labeled him as DD, which is a developmental delay. The school psychologist said that he was displaying signs of autism, but she couldn't make a diagnosis, so we will have to see the specialist for that. But that's going to take another 12 months. She said that maybe since he already has an IEP now, they will be able to get us in sooner. But as of right now, he's classified as a developmental delay until he gets some kind of diagnosis otherwise. Basically, that's what's going on so far, and hopefully we get more answers soon. But I feel pretty good about where we're going right now. At least we're getting somewhere. And it's been hard lately because I've just been waiting for answers. Like, I don't know what to do or where to go. And this kind of gave me some of those answers. Granted, it didn't like answer everything, but it helped me understand things a little bit better, helped me feel like we're going in some kind of direction other than just like standing here and hoping things will get better. Because now he has people who know what they're doing and know how to help him in ways that I can't or don't know how. So I'm pretty confident that this is going to help, and I'm excited to see how this works out. Hopefully it's answered your questions. If you have any other questions, just let me know. I have like 20 pages on this stuff, so I could probably answer anything that you have a question on. I'm gonna finish doing my vlog for the day because I totally did not do that much. So anyways, I will see you guys in my vlog.